West Cork Beard Company make beard oil and beard balm for a strong, healthy, great-looking beard. Handmade from all natural ingredients in Clonakilty, West Cork. Check out their YouTube channel for beard care tips and advice, or catch them online at westcorkbeardcompany.ie.
Good evening, good morning, good noon. Welcome back to the same old Arsenal podcast, season 21-22. We are back. Not too sure if it's a good thing that we're back. We're back talking about Arsenal every week. Not too sure, do we really want to do it after what we're witnessing this pre-season? But look, we come back every year. We're glutton for punishment. We are back. Check out our sponsor, please, below in the description. There's the West Cork Beard Company, kind sponsors of the podcast. Check out Colin's products below by following the link. If you've got a bit of a beard, or you've got someone who's got a bit of a beard and you want to buy them a present, what better present could you get them than West Cork Beard Oil? Hello to everyone in the chat. It's look at all these names coming back in. Yeah, unbelievable. The same names have come back. Great to see you here. Thank you very much indeed for coming back. Let's get on and introduce Danny Potts. How are you, sir? How has your summer been, Dan?
Mate, I've missed this, man. I'm not going to lie. I've been looking forward to this because I enjoy conversing with you boys, and I've been stuck with Judges for the last however long, and I'm getting bored now. No, I'm joking. I love him really, but it has been good, and it's been a nice summer, mate. It's been a horrible 18 months for most people, but I enjoyed the summer. I enjoyed the Euros. I enjoyed a bit of Wimbledon. I went to the Grand Prix, and I've done some other bits away from Arsenal. But of course, we're now talking about the club that we all love and sometimes hate, and yeah, things don't seem to be changing too much, Craig. But I am good to be back. Good to see your amazing face, as always, mate. Love it.
I wouldn't say it's amazing, but it's all right, I suppose. It's gone a bit long. It's got a bit longer because the old hair's going back.
You look like an egg.
I know. It won't be too long before I look like a bald fraud.
Oh,
just like you.
Oh, he's gone and said
Gone in.
Albert, how are you doing, mate? How's things?
Oh, where do I start, Craig? Firstly, I got a lovely DM about 6:30 today, eating my nice spaghetti bolognese, and I thought, you know what? I've not done any Arsenal stuff for quite a while, for obvious reasons, by the way. But I'm good, man. Half marathon yesterday, little bit sore, but I'll survive, mate. It was good.
Well done, mate. 13.1 miles completed. All in the name of charity. Absolutely fantastic, mate. Well done, well done. And of course, Albert has his own YouTube channel, as we all know. Get over there, Albert JTV, and subscribe to Albert's channel right now. Now we get on to the judges. How are you, sir?
I am very good. Like, I've had a good summer, Craig. Good summer.
Good. You went to Wimbledon?
I went to Wimbledon, yes.
You've been to cricket?
I've been to the cricket, yeah. I've done all those things. Back to the Emirates yesterday. And I tell you what, it was a fantastic day up in the Diamond Club. I don't know if you've all seen it, but there is a video out at the moment. If you want to have a little look, check it out, the Diamond Club. And it was a fantastic day. It all went tits up about 3 o'clock. No, you know what I mean? As it always does. I tell you what, I always seem to have a really good time, and then the Arsenal come along and spoil it. But hey, I'm not going to let it bother me no more.
They're nice toilets, Lee, as well, mate. I like the toilets.
Beautiful toilet. Club. You can eat your dinner up later. We got in a little bit of trouble with that. You know, I went into the toilets, right, Craig? This is no word of a lie, and I was so impressed with the toilets. It had all these towels and all little things you could wash your hands with, and your hair if you choose to. You know, I mean, that's up to you. Like,
not good for you, is it?
And then along the line of the cubicles, it had AFC, like, you know. And I thought, I'll video that, like, you know, because it was, you know, you could have, you know, done what you wanted, eat your dinner off it. It was absolutely spotless. And of course, I've done a video and showed the toilets, and apparently, like, there's a debate whether you're allowed to do that or not. So we had to, you know, if someone would have been in there, it would have been illegal, apparently.
I mean, he was in the women's.
Yeah, this is what I do. I understand that's why there was a problem. Yeah.
But just before we go, I played football on Saturday on a charity for Heart Foundation, earned a lot of money, which was fantastic.
Well done, mate. Well done.
And I'll give blood as well. Like, I've got one smack in the mouth. So if I've got a bit funny today, like I'll do a Harry Kane, you'll know why I like, yeah?
Harry Kane. Didn't turn up for training.
Wow.
Scandalous, isn't it?
God. It's that bad. It's that bad for him. He don't go to training. I mean, goodness me. How bad can you get? So, Lee, talk to us about Lee Judge's TV. That's started up, hasn't it?
Yes. I started that up over the summer. Me and Dan Potts. I needed to get a good presenter on, like, you know, and so I chose him instead of you.
Just for everyone watching, I still haven't been asked to contribute.
Yes, you have. You're such a.
It is absolutely scandalous. Absolutely scandalous. That's right, Nigel.
Yes,
Nigel, look at it.
Nigel doing his job.
Go on, mate. Go on, mate.
You dirty dog. You know what I mean? So, no, yes, you have been asked to contribute. I asked you the other day, and your exact words, I'll be highly delighted, Lee, was what you actually said, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, we're doing some things. We're doing some studio work as we speak. We're doing that tomorrow again. But I made it, and I'll be honest, I said to her, I've got to have Craig on, but obviously, like, you know, I can't fly you over and afford to fly you over and put you. I said, look, I'll put you up in a little bed and breakfast or something. Oh no, you want an hotel with comfy slippers and a robe.
Right and all.
I can't afford that. You know what I mean? Like this
right and all.
So what we've done is we're going to get you to do the stream. So it'll be a night in with a judge, but over a computer. And you're the only one that I've asked to do that.
Well, that's because I'm the only one that's not there.
Not necessary.
All right, okay.
Not necessary.
Well, in England, am I?
No. But there's people I know in America.
Are they doing it? Are they flying? You're flying them over, are you? Or?
No. I'm not going to have them on a StreamYard as well when they come over. They're being invited to the studio when they come over. But for you, it's
special. Good.
StreamYard red carpet is coming out.
All right. Okay. I'll let you off then.
Yeah,
I love you.
We're just going to leave this loving session to you two. You know what I mean?
Nah, go over and subscribe to Lee Judge's TV. We've all been waiting for it for so long.
Yeah.
Get over there, subscribe, like, watch the videos. Dan's fantastic on it as well. A great vlog yesterday from the Chelsea game that Lee done, all professionally edited and done, and it's really, really good. Get over there and support Lee and Dan right now. Pre-season so far, it's not been good, has it, Dan?
Well, it depends what people see as a good pre-season, because I'm still confused by that, Craig, if I'm honest with you. Because if pre-season is getting fresh legs, putting players in the shop window that we don't have any thoughts of playing in the current season upcoming, then I think we pretty much hit all of those boxes, because that's what it seems to be at the moment. We're playing people, we're giving them game time, we're getting minutes into their legs, and we're looking at what we've got. The problem is, in my opinion, Craig, we already know what we've got, and it ain't good enough. And as we've seen against Rangers, against Hibs, and now obviously against Chelsea, we might have had quite a few minutes in legs, but have we really looked like we're playing very well? Against Millwall and against Watford, we scored some good goals. I like some of the play. I like some of the individual efforts. But actually, when we look at where we're going moving forward, I still feel there's a lot to do in the transfer window. Now, I'm not going to be going on rants. I'm not going to be losing my head, but there is only a few weeks left, and it could get to a stage, Craig, where we're going to be panic buying again. I just hope this plan that Edu and Arteta have and keep telling us they have is going to come to fruition soon, because so far in this first 11, we've improved one position in Ben White, because it seems now that Granit Xhaka's staying, which I'm sure we'll come into. Lokonga doesn't look to be a starter. Tavares doesn't look to be a starter, although I thought played very well when he came on yesterday. But Ben White looks to be a starter. So actually what we've done is improve our centre-backs. So I look at that situation just there. Let's talk about that for a second. Centre-back position has been improved. I thought our centre-back was the best position that we've had last season. Apparently, we had the first best defence in the league. So we had no creativity, no transition, and no holding midfielder, but we went and spent 50 million on Ben White. Now, if that is the only business we do, which I don't think it will be, then it will be disappointing. Because if we believe that our marquee signing should have been the centre half for Brighton, then I don't like this process or this plan. So I'm really hoping it isn't that, and that the likes of James Maddison, Husam Awar, Martinez up front, whoever it be, we look at those individuals and say, this is what we need to take our first team forward and progress it. But at the moment, I went through the team yesterday, and I actually don't think it's going to be too dissimilar, Craig. And I'm going to do this quickly before you move on to Lee or Albert, because I think Leno's our number one goalkeeper. It looks to me as if Tierney's our left back. Gabriel's our left centre back. Ben White, new signing. Chambers is probably going to be our right back, because I don't think that we're looking at a new right back with having 4 at the club currently. Xhaka's just been told we're staying. Partey's going to be next to him. Smith Rowe in the number 10. Saka and Pepe either side of Aubameyang. So our first 11 at the moment is looking very, very similar, apart from Ben White. Now, we could be a Maddison that gets in front of Smith Rowe. There could be Bissouma that gets in front of Xhaka. But I'm thinking maybe that's unlikely, Craig. So to answer your question, yes, pre-season is about getting players in legs into players and giving them minutes. But actually, we want to be seeing some of where we're going as a club progression-wise. And at the moment, I don't really see much, mate. So it is worrying, I would say.
Albert, I'm of the opinion that pre-season to me means nothing. To be honest, I watch the games, yeah, but I don't take nothing away from them. Whether they play well, whether they play poorly, whether they win, whether they lose. To me, it's pre-season, and pre-season is just pre-season. I'm taking no notice of what is happening in them, because they're just utterly. For me, they're fitness exercises. When we won the league unbeaten, we lost to Peterborough in pre-season before we won the league. Do you know? So for me, and that, to be honest with you, that pre-season before we won the league unbeaten was horrendous, absolutely horrendous. Some of the teams we played, go and Google it and have a look at some of the results. So that's why I've always used pre-season as just get fit. I don't know what your opinions on it, mate. Is there any alarm bells ringing for you? Because for me, I'm quite calm. I'm quite cool. I'm looking forward to the new season. I'm with Dan. I don't think our transfer business is done yet. I agree with Dan. If that is our transfer business done, I'd be very disappointed. But like I said, as it goes, pre-season, I'm not too worried about it. Albert?
Yeah, Craig, you know what it is? I couldn't wait for the season to end last season, and that was even when we still in Europe. Had a nice little break doing some content at the Euros. Take your mind away from Arsenal. Go to that heavenly place that think about them for a few months, and then you realise that the Euros is over, and Arsenal are back. I'll be honest, I'm the opposite of you, Craig. A couple of my Arsenal mates said to me, "Are you looking forward to the new season?" I said, no. I mean, I don't know. If someone can convince me what I should be positive about in terms of going forward, looking at Arsenal this season, then I'm scratching my head. Yes, individually, I'm looking forward to seeing Ben White, Lokonga, how Tavares gets on. Obviously, Saka broken into the team last couple of years. Those are the things that I'm looking forward to as a package, as a team, and what Arteta is trying to do. I'm not convinced, and I'm not looking forward to it. In regards to the preseason, I'm kind of similar to you, Craig. I've kind of deliberately kept away from it and the transfer window for pretty obvious reasons, because I will judge it more so the first 2.5 months of the season, see how we actually do. Yes, you need to prepare in order to start a new season, but the first 2 months of the season are going to be critical. I think that's gonna cement where we're going to finish in the league, and I would call it as early as that, because you look at our last 2 seasons, mate. Two 8th league finishes, no European football. I see a lot of people do a lot of comparison during this. You guys might have seen it over the Euros, where people comparing what Southgate and Mikel Arteta are talking about the similarities. I said, well, there's one similarity that there isn't a similarity, and I don't see any progression with Arsenal. I generally don't. If people want to convince me that there is, I would argue that case pretty strongly. In terms of sort of touch on the transfers, Craig, I've always looked at Arsenal in terms of the players that are going out as opposed to who's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
We seem to be very incapable as a football club, and a lot of people make a lot of excuses. COVID market, pre-season, no one else is doing business. I could bring out a crime sheet of the reasons as to why Arsenal haven't done what they're supposed to do. I'm not going to praise the board for making signings. You should be doing that anyway. Why should they get a pat on the back for that?
Mm-hmm.
We need reinforcements. You know, we're going into the new season, Craig, and I always say I would try to keep it to footballing reasons. And if you're going to keep the likes of, for example, Xhaka and Bellerin, that's a massive, massive concern. Because as much as people want to talk about leadership and this person's a nice guy, it's not about that. It's, you know, the mediocrity we've seen as a football club on and off the pitch. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of talking about more so on the pitch. A lot of these players have contributed towards that. So when I see some of the stuff I've seen over Twitter during the Euros and when it was on, and, you know, people moaning about the price of players and, you know, leadership, and I'll just say to them, look, I don't know what you've been seeing in the last few years because we're no further forward. Yes, you can add the FA Cups into that in isolation, but if you look at the grand scheme of things, it's not looking good, mate. And transfer window policy, I haven't got a clue where we're going. I was on board for the Ben White transfer, no issue with it at all. No issues with it whatsoever, because we know as Arsenal fans, for example, if Ben White goes to Liverpool, for example, and does well, the fan base will be having fights with each other verbally for about a year, saying that we should have bought him. But we've actually gone and got him, so get behind him. And yeah, Craig, with the preseason, mate, I don't sort of pay too much attention to it just because, you know, I saw briefly yesterday some of the game, for example. I didn't get a chance to see it because I was out pounding the streets of London. But some of the same defensive frailties. I mean, the first goal, for example, I mean, either they're not listening to what he says, Mikel Arteta, or they just don't know what they're doing, because the gaps in between the defense and the midfield, to be leaving 2-on-1, you got a striker like Werner who's got pace to burn, is unforgivable. That's not pre-season. Arsenal been doing that for years. So that's all I've got to say, mate.
Just before I come to Lee, thank you very much for that. Your question there, Bill. Thank you very much for your kind donation. As always, mate, thank you. For me, it's not about our results pre-season. It's about the style of play that I still can't see 18 months into Arteta's coaching. You know, it's such a fair and valid point. And Lee, I'll kind of intertwine that into my next question. Lee, as Arsenal supporters, we've seen some beautiful, beautiful things happen, you know, at Highbury. We've had some unbelievable European nights at Highbury. You know, we win the league unbeaten. And then we go on to play this tiki-taka style of Arsene Wenger football that amazes everyone around the world. And people, you know, Arsenal becomes people's neutral team because they like to watch us. But with the good, Lee, comes the bad. And I think that the bad is now happening to us. We've gone up to the top of the hill and now we're coming back down it again in a kind of circle. Are we acting spoilt, Lee? Is my question to you. As supporters, you know, are we expecting too much? Is it now time to admit to ourselves that we're just not as good as we think we are, and we're not as important as, you know, as a football team that we once were? We're not as good as we were. So why are we sitting here, you know, asking for these big top players to come in when we're not actually that good? Why, you know, what? No one is going to choose. We've had this argument before, right? And I don't think any top player would want to come to Arsenal over someone like Liverpool or Man City or Man United, or that's always going to be the destination if someone's coming in from. So my way of thinking over the summer is that, look, I just don't think we're as good as we think we are, Lee.
Well, I don't think we know we're not as good as what we are. But I tell you what I do expect from Arsenal Football Club is to have a team properly coached, a defence that knows what it's doing, not to be left on 2-on-1 situations, not more than once in a game, 3 or 4 times. For the money that I spend, I expect to see some decent players at the end of the day coming in or whatever, and I do expect to see a bit of quality football. Now, going back at the Emirates, I've seen that even with the Emirates, I've seen us play some good football. I've seen some good players at the Arsenal, and I've seen some fantastic games. I've seen some kamikaze defending, but has been counteracted with some good flowing football. But what I'm seeing, what I expect now is a manager capable of managing my football team, and a club owners and that spending the money wisely enough to make us as good as it possibly can be. Now, what I see with Arsenal at the moment, and forget whether it's pre-season or not, I see the same mistakes being made on and off the pitch. A counter, and I'll tell you where I mean from this side. Forget about results, because people can go on about results and go on that game finished yesterday 2-2, right? That was a goal, right? When Joe Willett scored, it's a goal. So at the end of it, if the proper technology would be in a normal game, it's 2-2, and everybody going, well, it ain't too bad and all that. But what you want to see is progression. What you want to see is something happening that you think, do you know what? Like Albert said, I'm excited to go back to the Emirates, to look forward to the first game of the season. Well, what I'm seeing at the moment, I'm not excited. Do you know why I'm not excited? Because I know what's coming. I see people turning around there and saying, oh, give him 10 games. Why do you want to give it 10 games? I'll tell you after 1 game where we're going to finish. I'll tell you that now. Why do you want 10 games? Why do you want 10 games to know where you're going to finish? We'll finish exactly where where you know you're going to be. At this moment in time, we're a 6, 7, 8 club. Simple as that. You know, and I say same mistakes happening. Let's say about pre-season. Mikel Arteta yesterday. Yeah, Thomas Partey, who by the way was absolutely outstanding yesterday when I see him. It was a pleasure to watch him in the flesh. He was brilliant, right? Gets a knock, right? We're in pre-season. Yeah, when everybody turns around and says only pre-season, we're in pre-season. He gets up and runs again, and then afterwards he says he's going to be out for 4 weeks. Could someone tell to me why he come back on the pitch then? It's only pre-season. Don't really matter, does it? So why has he come back on the pitch?
Well, if he's told the manager that
he's told the manager.
Huh?
He's told the manager. It's pre-season. Get off. Because it don't really matter, Craig, does it? No one cares. It's pre-season. This is what I'm saying. I want it being managed properly, the club being managed properly. If that was me in charge, I don't care about today. I care about in 2 weeks. You're off. Off you come. We get you, you know, whether it's a knock or whatever. These are the things that, so I continually see it happening. To bring him back on and then afterwards say, oh, the doctor said it looked really bad and all that. What the hell is going on? What is going on? But people want to turn around and say, like, you know, give the manager the chance and all that. Like, he's had enough time now to get things right. You know, and I look at that team, and I do look at that team, and if you run it through there, it's still better than 8th. It should be better than 8th. You know, Pepe, Saka up front on the wires with Aubameyang. That's a good front 3, right? The midfield ain't too bad when you look at Xhaka and you look at Partey and all that. It's not going to get you to top 4. It's not going to get you there, but it should do you decent. So it's a decent back 4 and keeper, you know. But me and Dan had this conversation that when everybody, like, you know, that be a tough game against Brentford. If it's a tough game against Brentford, I'll tell you something now, it's going to be a lot harder against Man City and Chelsea, you know. And these are the things. And what I want to say, I don't expect Arsenal, Craig, to go and win the league. Right? I don't. Right? I don't expect them to be going out and being in for Jack Grealish. Right? I don't expect them to be going in for any of the players that Chelsea and Man City are going to sign. Like, yeah, I don't expect that. But I tell you what, in realistic layman's term, and what we spend and what we spent over the last few years and all that, like, yeah, right. Why shouldn't we? Because I'll tell you this now. They're asking fans yesterday to buy £100 shirt. Now, can those fans really afford £100 shirt? No, but they go and spend it, and so, because they said, you know what, I can't really afford it, but I've got to have it. Right, I've got to have it. So why can't Arsenal go, oh, we can't really afford Jack Grealish, but we've got to have him. But they expect, on one hand, for every Arsenal fan to overspend and spend on anything that merchandise, which is true, right? I had a fella yesterday who was sitting next to me, and he spent over £200, right? Yeah, on shirts and memorabilia and all things like that. And he said, oh, I'll have the number. I think it was the number 7 and his wife or girlfriend's name on the back. And they said that's another £8. So he turned around. Well, can you knock that off? Like, you know what I mean, for whatever. They never knocked it off one bit. No. But then they go into a transfer bar and go, can you knock off this? Can you knock off that? Can you knock off this? You know what I mean? Like, but you know, this is the difference. So I'm really like, all I expect my team, and this is the expect. I expect it to be run properly. I expect it to be coached properly, and I expect that mistakes are eradicated, and if not, made accountable. But what I continually see is defenders making the same mistakes, forwards missing the same chances. Yeah, and you know what? Love and behold, we're 2 weeks into the season. I see the same defenders, and I see the same midfielders, and I see the same forwards. So when people turn round and say, oh, it's not Mikel Arteta's fault, it's the players' fault, why are those players still here then? Why are
Very good point. Very good point.
Exactly.
Absolutely agreed. Yeah.
And that is all what pre-season's about, is bringing in new players, getting them out. I'm watching Kolasinac come on, right? Yeah, for 10, 15 minutes. Can someone of the great people of Mikel Arteta and believe in him and everything, that why are we bringing on him and not a kid out of the youth team? Can someone ask me that, you know what I mean, without going, you're negative and you're this and you're that? Just debate me. Ask me why you can't bring him, like a young kid, left back, academy, give him 10, 15 minutes. Why? These are the things that start getting my go. These are the things that I want to see. I want to see Arsenal run properly, Craig. I'm not going to get it from the board. We know that. But someone said today that Arsenal spent over £500 million in the last 5 years on transfers. So something's going wrong. Something's going wrong. So for me, I would like to see if it can't be running off the field properly, get it run right on the field. And this is what I'm saying. And I see Thomas Partey yesterday limping off, then coming back on a pre-season game, and everybody turns around and says, well, it don't matter. Pre-season don't matter. Pre-season don't matter. So all those people that go, pre-season doesn't matter. Pre-season doesn't matter. Come back with me. Why did you bring him back on? And now he's out for 4 weeks. Do you know what? And it'll be hopefully he'll be fit. But I can see him playing against Brentford half fit.
That's out of our control, isn't it? It's out of our control. We can't do nothing about that. I mean, like I said, you going on about people saying pre-season don't matter. I mean, if Partey scores a hat-trick yesterday, he doesn't get injured. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, Thomas Partey, oh, he's the man, isn't he? It's just, you know, I
know it's no pre-season, but he did look really good for the first 20.
Oh, he did. And he's going to be a massive miss if he's out for 4 weeks.
It was like watching, honestly, that was the biggest splash yesterday for me. I'm going to say because I've waffled on long enough. It was like watching a different player yesterday. Thomas Partey, we've got his brother. We signed his twin last season. Now we've got him back. We've got a proper Thomas.
I saw a brilliant tweet yesterday saying that finally Thomas Partey's finally come to the party.
Yeah, well, maybe right, but I'll tell you what, he was different class yesterday. Different class, head and shoulders above any midfield player on that part.
Dan, we've signed Nuno Tavares. I think I've said that right. 7.2 million. Albert Lokonga, a centre midfielder, 15.75 million, and Ben White for 50 million. Now, along with that, Smith Rowe, Martinelli, Tierney have all signed long contracts. That is something, I think, that perhaps Edu and Arteta should get a little pat on the back for, because that's something that we haven't been doing over the last few years, is tying down our best players, our youngest players, onto long-term contracts. That seems to have started to happen. Sure, Dan, I mean, we can all sit here and we can all talk about how negative things are looking and this, that, and the other, but let's ramp it up a bit. That is a massive positive for me, that these players have signed their futures to the club.
It's the only positive I can give this manager and Edu as well, moving forward. Because off the pitch, let's just forget about results, forget about players, tactics. We are seeing more of what the fans would like to see in terms of signings. I think everybody liked Gabriel and Partey coming in. Everybody was happy to see Saka, Smith Rowe and Martinelli sign. And let's be honest, so far, the 3 signings that have come in, they make sense. Yeah, a centre-back makes sense because Rob Holding is not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Tavares makes sense because Kolasinac is not good enough. And Lokonga makes sense because whether you like him or not, El Neni is a basic bring on at 2-0. He's not really going to get any better. He's shown us what he is. So we hope from the reports we hear, I don't know much about the guy, but he's very, very highly rated. He was the captain of Anderlecht, which I wasn't aware of. He's only 21 or 22, and he's a position that I feel we need. So it makes sense. You can see off the field, they're trying to get together a crop of young players that can grow together, that are between the ages of 18 and 24. And it's not just them. You look at Martinelli, you look at Balogun, you look at Miguel Aziz now has been promoted. We've still got a few lads that people are talking about, Hutchinson and some of these other lads that are coming up as well that they're looking at as being the next stars. So I understand off the pitch what they're doing, Craig. Where I am so confused is on the pitch. And everything that Lee has just said is spot on. And the reason it's spot on is because I've been saying that since October, November last season. But all I was getting told was trust the process. You're too negative. You need to actually understand that this is going to take time. And now we're nearly a year ahead and we're still saying the same things. I'm still seeing Rob Holding getting done. I'm still seeing Bellerin passing the ball to the opposition. I'm still seeing Granit Xhaka step over passes. I'm still seeing El Neni going backwards and sideways instead of forwards. I'm still seeing Aubameyang missing chances. I'm still seeing Lacazette struggling to get into the game. I'm not seeing any progress of the last few games to get me excited. So if we're playing them and they're not part of this season, what the hell is the point of the preseason? Because we may as well be putting on the likes of Balogun, the likes of Miguel Aziz, the likes of who's going to be trying to look to be a part of this current squad. So I'm with Lee. Why is Bellerin coming on if he's going to Inter Milan? What is Kolasinac doing when him and Mustafi between them have just got Schalke relegated and he's now coming on? I mean, I must admit, I saw him come on and I said to my dad, oh dear, what the hell is this? And my dad said, oh, hopefully he'll just run around and we won't see much of him. He was god awful. He is such a bad footballer. It is scary how bad this dude is. And he is stealing a living on 125k a week. And we cannot get rid of this dude. Yeah. We're keeping players because nobody wants them. Yeah. That Tyrone Mings can go for 26 million to Aston Villa and Jordan Ibe can go for 15 million to Bournemouth. And what's his name? Solanke can go to Bournemouth for 19 million. Yeah. Brewster can go to Sheffield United for 25 million. And we can't even get 5 for El Neni or 20 for Granit Xhaka.
But we can't.
That's how bad this team is from the previous regime. We have been screwed over by these people. Go on,
we can't blame Mikel Arteta for that, though. We can't blame the manager
I'm not.
Yeah, I know you're not. But what a lot of people are, we can't blame Mikel Arteta if no one wants to pay 20 million for Xhaka. We can't blame Mikel Arteta.
Going for playing him.
Well,
exactly, that was my point. Yeah,
you can for playing him. Okay, so who else? Who else goes in there then, Lee? Well, let's talk about last year when he was being played. Who would you have played instead of Granit Xhaka?
Well, I couldn't play no one last year because he weren't in the transfer window. The transfer window's in now, so get who you think's better. And if Mikel Arteta doesn't think he can get any better than Granit Xhaka, then we've got a problem.
Big
that?
problem.
Well,
Big
you
problem.
know,
Well, I
I'm not-
agree. I
I'm
agree.
not-
But if,
I'm not- I'm not-
do we know that Arteta's being backed? You know, perhaps
Well,
Mikel.
I'm sorry, Craig. That's out the window, mate. He turned around before this transfer window said, and he said he was being backed. Right, that's it. Backed into a corner or being backed, that's another thing. I don't know. But he said he was going to be backed. So at the end of the day, I'm sorry. If you, I know it's probably not the right thing to say, but Pep signed Eke from Bournemouth for 50 million. Weren't good enough. He didn't turn around and say, "Oh, give him a new contract and play more." Went and got another one. If you're
But
being
we can't do that. We can't do that. It's not going to happen.
If you're
going to
being
happen.
no, but if you're being backed and that's a club that you for me, if you're being backed, that is saying this is as an owner, you're saying, look, I know you didn't sign Xhaka, I know you didn't sign this one there. So if you want your players in, I'll back you. I'll back you, and if I have to take a hit on them, I will. Right, but I'm going to back you. So for me, this is how someone is backing someone as a manager. Who do you want, Mikel? I want Basuma. Going to cost me 45 million. Like, okay, right. There's go and get him. Right, I'll take the hit. I'll take the hit on Granit Xhaka. 17 million. If that's what it takes to get him out, see you later. I'll take the hit. But you get what you want. Not turn around and say, no, you want Basuma. Yeah, I want Basuma. Well, you've got to get rid of Granit Xhaka. And if you don't get rid of Granit Xhaka, I'll tell you what, you're going to play Granit Xhaka for another year. And I'll tell you what, when you get under pressure and the fans are going to have a real go at you, I'll back you. That's what he's doing. That ain't backing. That's not backing.
And what we're missing as well, Lee, is, let's be honest. We found out yesterday that Granit Xhaka is part of our future. Not he's just staying at the club for now. He's part of the long-term future at the age of 28. When I looked today, actually, because I actually got something wrong. I said we haven't kicked a ball since we've had Granit Xhaka at this club in the Champions League. We did. We lost 10-2 to Bayern Munich, and we ain't been there since, right? So that says to me that the 8th place midfield of this season, Mikel Arteta believes can get us as high as possible in the league this season with the same Granit Xhaka and the same Thomas Partey, who, let's be honest, clearly can't play next to him because I thought he was pretty average, let's be honest, this season. Playing next to him. Sometimes it doesn't work. You need partners to mold together. You've got to get that connection right. For me, the Thomas Partey partner, right, was 100% the one area of priority. And now we ain't going to get him because we're stuck with the same Swiss statue that we've had for 5 seasons. That has not got us in the top 4. So why are we expecting any different?
You are a little bit harsh on it.
I get it.
The thing is, though, right? The thing is with Granit Xhaka is that I'm getting worried now that, after last season, I said that I'd back Mikel Arteta for the year, and I did. Okay, I did back him. We watched it. We talked about it every week. But as where I stand at this moment now, I'm with everyone else. He's not the man to take Arsenal forward. He's not. We can all clearly see that. But I'm getting worried now that he was brought in because he's a big, massive yes man. We've seen it all before, and that Granit Xhaka thing, he's only giving Granit Xhaka an extended contract because he knows he's not going to get any money to get anyone else. So that's where my worry. That's where my worry is. My worry is starting. And
that's a great point, Craig. It's great. That's what I'm worried about, mate. I'm looking at the situation now, thinking our midfield is looking very, very similar to last year, and it's the weakest midfield I've seen since the kind of mid-90s. So we need to look at that area seriously now. And it's fair enough saying trust the process and stuff like that. But if the guy isn't going to get backed. And, there's still time. Don't get me wrong. We're not all losing our heads right now because we've got 4 weeks left. But we have got 2 weeks until the season starts. And Mikel Arteta is under pressure from day one, let's remember.
Absolutely.
So is this going to be we've got time? I don't think we have. This guy's had more than enough time to get a side together now. In my opinion, he's been back more than Unai Emery was because he wanted Thomas Partey and went and got him. Emery wanted Zaha. We didn't get Zaha. Emery wanted Thomas Partey. We didn't get Thomas Partey. So I look at the situation now thinking, okay, yes, they are backing Mikel Arteta because the players that we're linked with and rumoured with, we pretty much get. There's rumours that, Ødegaard might be coming back. It's a player Arteta likes. They're going to give him Ødegaard. He wanted Ben White. They went and spent 50 million on him. So now we need to go and spend that on somebody else. I do not want to be starting the season with the most expensive Premier League front three, by the way, who can't score goals at the moment. You love them or hate them, they can't score goals. So we need to change it up, mate.
Let me right. Yeah.
And just saying it, like, you know, that is a great point. That we've got players up front that don't look like scoring goals. We've got no midfield that can create. And we ain't got a midfielder that can score. And Albert comes to the point of it, you know. Let's be honest, and I'm not being critical or negative and whatever. Am I looking forward to the season starting this season? No. Why? Because we've not got nothing in the transfer window that's going to excite me to think that we can do something. Now, that is what you want as a fan going into the season is hope that you might be able to win the league. You might be able to get top four. Right. Well, the hope of winning the title is not there. Right. The hope of top four is not there. So where is the hope coming from these transfers when a owner turns around and says, let's be excited? Because I can tell you this now, I'm not excited by Ben White. Now, I'm excited by Ben White as a central defender, but Ben White is not going to get us to where we want to go. Yeah. So it's a little bit of a, you know, and it's not having a go at him there, you know. We need more, and we need to be showing a lot more better ambition. So when you go to the season, you think, do you know what? This is the worst season before I can remember for a very, very long while, right? Yeah. 2 seasons before this was when in 81, 82 and 94, 95. In 81, 82, 83, we signed Charlie Nicholas. That ramps everything up. In 95, we signed Dennis Bergkamp, right? Now, we signed Dennis Bergkamp. We signed David Platt as well. But if we'd have just signed David Platt, no one would have been excited, Craig.
Mm. Oh, okay. I totally agree with you.
Bergkamp changed everything. Mm. We need a game changer.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at all you got to do is look up north to Man United. I mean, when they brought in Bruno Fernandes, they changed into a completely different side.
2 for light, Albert. 2 for light. Just get in here, mate.
Oh yeah, yeah. 2 for light. Yeah,
you're on mute, Albert.
You're on mute though, mate.
Sorry.
So yeah.
I was going to say no. The common thing I see come up, right? See, we're talking about quality of players coming in Arsenal's recruitment, right? And I mentioned it earlier, talking about I have to use the word excuse because that's the only word that comes to my head as to why we don't get business done. Now, people are going to turn around and say, now we've got 4 weeks the transfer window left. How many years have we been saying that? Even the links with Basuma, where's that gone? That's completely gone dead in the water. I've not heard any reports on that whatsoever. And he's someone who I would love at Arsenal. But then the problem is, I always pull it back to sections of the fan base, and I always use the word sections. You have to decide what you want, because Basuma, for me, from the 2 years I've seen him in the Premier League, I think he's ideal, and I think it would work with Thomas Partey personally. But Arsenal fans seem to have more reservations about a player who's playing week in, week out in the Premier League.
Yeah,
but want to sit there and defend, for example, Granit Xhaka. That doesn't make any sense to me, because if you worked in recruitment and someone come and said to you at Arsenal, you know what, we've got a midfield player, right? He's on the books. He's unfortunately he made the most mistakes that led to goals in the domestic season, but we're going to bring him to Arsenal anyway. You as an Arsenal fan hearing that would run for the hills, because you wouldn't want a midfield player anywhere near the midfield to come and improve Arsenal. So, like I said, you have to. It can't be because someone's a good player, or because I don't excuse the social media thing, but I strip it back to what I see with my own 2 eyes on the pitch, and people say about we've got 4 weeks left. Yes, we will wait and see. We will count down the days and the weeks and the minutes, but my warning to Arsenal fans is we have been here before. You've already seen the traces of the way this transfer window is going. I mean, to be honest, like I said earlier, Craig, like for example, with Bellerin and Granit Xhaka, for example, one of those guys should already be gone already in this transfer window. Forget about the years before. in this transfer window should have been gone already. Now, people will argue and say, "Oh yeah, but we've got 4 weeks." Come on, let's be honest now. Do you expect these guys to be here at the start of the season? Well, one's already been confirmed with Granit Xhaka, so he's going to be here.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, like I said, we'll come back to the same thing again. When we start the first 2 months of the season, then you will see. And that's what it comes down to.
Lee, are you... What Albert says there, I mean, are you concerned that we're going to go into this season again with the same front three? Is it time to, with 4 weeks left, if you let me put it this way, with 4 weeks left and you've got a big offer for Aubameyang, who I think has got Ozilitis, because since he signed that contract, he's not been the same player, and same as Mesut Ozil, played well for the 6 weeks leading up to the extension, just like Aubameyang, and then signed it and fell off the side of the cliff. Would you sell him and try and bring in someone else?
I'd sell them all. I don't care. I'm done with them. It's not that I'm bothered about any player leaving Arsenal apart from Smith Rowe, Saka, Tierney, Gabriel.
Mm.
That's it. The rest of them are all surplus to requirements. Probably Pepe as well. I think that Pepe deserves another.
Martinelli as well.
Of course, you know, Martinelli as well, of course. You know what I mean? All the young guns. You know what I mean? Like that. Ultimately, the rest of them are all going. Aubameyang, since he's been here, he's never barsted us to the Champions League. That's not his fault. Like it ain't Granit Xhaka's fault. You know what I mean? It's a combination of everything. But ultimately, we keep missing chances. And I know people criticise the back four. It's easy to do that because they make one mistake at the back. But ultimately, if you're missing chances up top, you're going to get a little bit nervous and make a little mistake, you know, because, they're missing chances again. They're missing chances again. Dan, spot on what he's turned around and said. All those three players, Pepe, Saka and Aubameyang, they're not going to get us lots of goals. And I look at it there, and I look at Lacazette. I love his industry and his work rate, Craig, but he's not going to score goals that are going to take us to it. And to be fair, he probably scores the more goals against the better teams, if I'll be honest, you know, but it doesn't do it consistently enough. So for me, you know, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I think us signing Ben White excites me for the fact is that I think Arsenal will be totally incompetent if they don't sign anybody else. It would be incompetence at the highest level if they do not address that midfield. And I'm confident that they will go out, whether it be before the season or right at the end of the window, Arsenal will sign 2 or 3 players. I really do, because if they don't, you know what I mean, like, it's just, there's going to be a meltdown of this fan base that we've never seen before, because I can tell you this now, the ones that are not backing Arteta and the ball will go absolutely mad. And the ones that are still hanging in there on the hope, right, will lose all hope because they know what's coming. So I'm in the moment where I'm thinking, I'm hoping that Arsenal will make the signings. I know that there's, as Albert says, there's history to say that Arsenal won, and we've been left, haven't we, frustrated every season. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I remember 2 seasons ago we was on holiday, everybody going mad when I was on holiday, like all the Gooners that I was with, going mad when we signed Pepe. And they were calling me a miserable old git because I said, well, it's all right getting Pepe, but we needed a centre-half as well. I don't want to be that miserable git no more, going, oh, yeah, we've got Ben White, but we haven't got the midfield player. We need that midfield player that's going to open up things, you know what I mean? But otherwise, we're back to where we was at the beginning of last season till Christmas, not creating them. And you know when this comes is really more important than anything is at home games, like when you're playing the top teams and you're playing against teams, when you've got to unlock defence. That is why we had such a poor home record last season, because we didn't have the players to unlock the door. So we go bombing forward, trying to create a little bit of mayhem and whatever, and leave ourselves open at back. But if you've got a tight back four that ain't going to give away nothing, and then you've got that creative who can pick a pocket and whatever, Smith Rowe running on through and all that, you don't have to expose yourself to get an overload. And that is the problem. And that is why it needs to be addressed.
Absolutely. Dan, just before I come back to you, this one comes in from Real Giannis, I hope I've pronounced that correctly. Thank you very much. He says Willian, Bellerin, Lacazette, Cedric, Xhaka, Holding, Chambers, and Murray. I can go on. The truth is, it ain't on Arteta or Edu. No one wants these players. Just waiting on the AFT meltdowns and Arteta out, laughing out loud. Dan, like what Lee just said there about, like, even though, Arteta is still here, I'll kind of just get over the fact that he's still here, and I'll get over the fact that he's still our manager. But like what Lee just said there, like I am anxious and nervous already for the Brentford game, because if he loses that, like this fan base is going to be again absolutely divided down the middle, and it's going to get, things are going to get bad again. I'm nervous for Brentford big time. If he loses, like I just said, mate, if he loses that game, there's going to be chaos in there.
Yeah, and it won't just be that game, Craig. I think everybody looks at games in sixes, don't they? It's very strange why we do that, but we say first 6 games. Who have we got? Well, we got 3 very winnable games and 3 very difficult games on paper. So what he needs to do is make sure that we don't have draws or losses to Brentford, Norwich, or Burnley, because there will be severe pressure on this guy to get 9 points from the other 3 against Chelsea, City, and Spurs. So the way I see it is, looking at it realistically, we should be able to, on paper, beat Brentford. Yes, it's going to be a tough game and newly promoted Friday night game, of course, but we need to prepare ourselves for this game. And I don't think we're going to have time to do that in 2 weeks. So now I'm looking at the situation thinking we know for a fact that Xhaka and El Neni will be our pair in the middle. Yeah, we know that for a fact. It looks to me as if Ben White and Pablo Mari will be our 2 centre-halves going into the Brentford game, whether you like that or not. I don't mind either of them. I think that could work. But we've got that front 3, which worries me. So that Brentford game is under pressure. But then we've got Chelsea, Norwich, Burnley, Manchester City and Spurs, as well as that first 6. I honestly do not think this guy has got any credit in the bank to say that we can be taking anything less than 10 points from those 6 games, because you need 9 points from the 3 winnable games from teams that, let's be honest, will be floating around the relegation zone. And then you need to try and not lose to Spurs, which we should be hopefully all right doing now they haven't got Kane, Alderweireld and a few more. And I would accept losing to Chelsea and City. Yeah, normally I wouldn't, but I would accept using it because of the team we've got at the moment. But let's not get spanked 6 or 7-0. Let's give them a bloody good game. And then I might say, do you know what? 6 games, he's got 3 points, 3 points from each of the games I expected him to. He's beaten Tottenham, and we haven't got hammered by Chelsea or City, but we lost, which I expected us to, because I expect Chelsea and City, Craig, to be title challengers this coming season, and I don't expect Arsenal to be. But I tell you what, Craig, if he gets anything less than 10 points, the pressure for me is on, and we need to get somebody like Conte in quick to try and save our season, because we get to November and we're 12th again or 15th like we were last year. It's done. None of this give him till Christmas to try and change it round. None of this absolute nonsense. Those 6 games are massive. You take 10 points or plus, Arteta, and your job's safe. Anything less than that, mate, please just go so we can get someone who knows what they're doing.
I don't think that he will survive that long, Dan. I think last season was his. We, like I said at the start of last season, we all sat here and we said we give him a year. Like we all said that, but that year's over now. So can you imagine? I mean, I'd be calling for his head if we're 10th, 15th in November. Do you know? I'll have no problem calling for his head because it's done. Albert, I mean, I don't think even the staunchest Arteta in fan couldn't give anyone grief for wanting him out if that happens again.
Craig, there's always some out there, man. Trust me, I've seen it in the last year, 18 months. You know what it is? We took him on, right? We knew he was inexperienced, but even with the inexperience and what we've seen in terms of the choices he's made in terms of who he plays, who he's bombed out the team, who's got no future whatsoever. Some of the mistakes he's making, I almost don't put it down to inexperience. It's just bloody stubbornness. A lot of this thing. There's many occasions last season. You're going to see it again this season. Regardless of however long he lasts or how it pans out. But So, okay, I just want to touch on quickly about Aubameyang. Sorry, just to go a little bit off a tangent, but at the end of last season, sorry, coming into this season, one thing I wanted to see, I said I don't want to see either Aubameyang or Lacazette at the club. We have to move forward. Somebody has to take some accountability, whether it's Aubameyang or Lacazette. Like Gaffer said, and I'm fully on board with a lot of these Arsenal players we've had or seen in recent years. I don't have any sentiment towards any of them. So for me, I would have liked to see one of the strikers moved on. Lacazette, Aubameyang, more so probably Lacazette, no problem. Because because it needs to happen. It's the same thing with the whole Bella and Xhaka argument. It's for me, it's not personal. It's never been personal. Never will be personal. It's football. It's business. It makes sense for the move to happen between both clubs. That they're not there no longer. But that's going to be the case. But for Arteta, the signs are not good, Craig.
No, that was
transfer window or not. I just look at the preparation, and the one common thing I hear amongst Arsenal fans, and maybe social media is not the best thing to go with, but I know most of the guys that are Arsenal fans are on social media, so of course I'm going to listen to them at some point. But the one key word that I always keep hearing, or two or three, lack of preparation. It just looks like that. It does this. It's not cohesive. And the problem with that is because you've got a mixture of players still at the club that shouldn't be there, and the lack of activity to bring in the right players to come into the club. I mean,
very worrying.
It took for last season for people for some Arsenal fans to suddenly realise we need a new right back. What's taken so long?
Good point, man. I go back to my earlier point. About him giving contracts and not selling them because he knows he's not going to get any replacement in.
But the thing is with that, Craig, let me just come in there, because when did the transfer window shut? Right, it was in February. So our transfer gurus have had since February to target players, and we're struggling at the moment,
which worries me even more. Then,
isn't it a joke?
Do you know, Lee? With this, let me quickly talk before we finish. I'll bring this one in. Will Janice again? Thank you very much. So he says, I don't care about Arteta, but honestly, guys, it isn't on the manager. This squad is trash. Conte wouldn't join us. Laughing out loud, no top manager would. You agree with that, Lee?
Well, listen, it's not all on Arteta because we know that these players are not good. But as we've alluded before, he's the one still playing them. You know what I mean? Like he's the one that's saying that Xhaka's still got a future at the club, still playing this one, still playing that one. I'm still seeing Holding coming out and still getting ripped apart. I know that we've got Ben White to come in for that. I'm still seeing strikers miss chances. My argument about Arteta is, and I'll say this now, and people can say about Balogun, they can say what they like, he's not this and all that. What I'm seeing is, for the last 6 months and even through pre-season, we are still missing chances. Yeah, so why don't you give someone like Balogun a chance then and to see what happens? Because at the end of the day, you haven't got nothing to lose because you're still missing chances. So I don't see why he don't do that. Is he scared? Oh, I better not put him in because if he does really, really well, I can't then. What am I going to do about Aubameyang? What am I going to do about that? Martinelli last season deserved chances. Is he going to get a chance this season? When people convert. Don't forget, this is a manager that continued to play Willian in place of Pepe last season, right? This is a manager that continued to play El Neni and Partey in home games at some stage last season. This is a manager that played a false nine in the semi-final. So yes, he's made mistakes. So it's not all on Arteta, but Arteta has got to be blamed as well for the whole package. So what I'm saying now is, right, you've got a clean slate here. These players should be gone now. If you don't want those players, don't play them. You know what I mean? And see what you can do. And I'm for this now. Give other players a chance. It doesn't. When's Bellingham going to get a chance? It's only pre-season. Don't matter, is it? So why is he not giving him a chance? When are we going to realise that Aubameyang's not quite good enough, or or Lacazette and all that, like, you know.
Or
I totally agree
or
with you.
bringing on
I mean,
Eddie.
yesterday,
Bringing on Eddie.
Bringing on Eddie
consistently,
instead
bringing
of
on Eddie.
Eddie. Yeah, that's another one. Bringing on Eddie instead of, you know, that is Arteta. That is at Arteta's door when he's only got a year left of his contract. Can explain that? Why are you continuing playing him? He's got a year left of his contract.
I can't answer that, Lee. And the other thing I can't answer is when we were, let's go back to like 98, let's say, yeah, when we had Gramondi. Did we just say, like we are with Xhaka, got Gramondi, we'll move forward, you know? Or did we go and sign Petit? Yeah, we signed Petit. When we had Glenn Helder on the wing, did we say we'll stick with Glenn Helder, or did we go and buy Mark Overmars to upgrade?
Yeah.
That's why we need to be upgrading. Did we stick with Christopher Ray up front, or did we go and sign someone called Nicholas Anelka? That's what we need to get back to. We need to replace and upgrade and progress. We are not going to. And I know I keep bringing it up, and you keep saying, you know, oh, you're harsh on Xhaka. I am bloody harsh on Xhaka because he frustrates the hell out of me. He ain't the only problem, and there's definitely players we need to shoot one blind. But he is the player I use because he's been in the team for 5 years. The others haven't. This guy, we are not progressing because he's still in the side. If you want to bring him on, that's absolutely fine. I've got nothing wrong with you using Granit Xhaka as part of your squad. But go and get Bruno Guimaraes or Bissouma. Don't use Xhaka as your number one. Yeah? Don't be playing Lacazette up front when he's probably going to go on a free transfer in the summer. Go and get Martinez from Milan, who's banging him in. Yeah, that's what we need to be doing now, Craig, is upgrading. I've got to see it because it's frustrating the hell out of us.
I do. What you've just made me think of something there. Can you imagine if we had social media and we signed Nicholas Anelka for 500 grand? And we had social media at that point. Bloody hell, kid, 500. Oh, bloody hell, he's going to be crap, and he didn't cost 50 million. Oh my God, what a load of rubbish. But I absolutely agree with you, Dan, on the point of like, and Lee's point and Albert's point. I know Albert wants to come in, but like Balogun should have played yesterday. Tavares should have played. You know, he should have started. Lokonga should have started. Like, why are they not starting if they're being brought into Arsenal to come and play for us and supposedly be backups for our mainstay players? Why aren't you playing them? Albert.
Madness. Yeah, Craig, I'll just quickly say, you see with Willock, just quickly, I said to be fair to him, brilliant at Newcastle, the goal scoring record, fantastic. But I said if he comes back to Arsenal, let's just say he come back to Arsenal, and he obviously has. The only way he's got a chance for me personally is if Mikel Arteta's not there. That's the first thing. I just can't see how he's going to progress while he's there. Yes, he's gone out alone. We've heard rumours that possibly Mikel Arteta might give him a bit more of a, but I don't know how you fit him into the team, to be honest. But having said that, but I see a few people mentioning in the chat talking about a word that's not really associated with Arsenal. It's called positivity. But all I would say,
positivity.
Yeah. all I would say to some of the people is, in terms of, you know, it's difficult to be positive about a team that is consistently inconsistent, and you can't argue against that. And on top of that, to add even further, there are some positives. Like I said at the start, at the top of the stream, Ben White, get behind Pepe. That's a player who we should be backing. Gabriel, that's a player who we should be backing. Lokonga's there. So if you want to talk about being positive, those are the guys who you should take yourself out of the negative sort of outlook, and those are your positives. Whether that manifests into Arsenal being a good team under this manager is a completely different question.
I'm massively nervous about the season going forward, but I'm not going to indulge myself until after the Brentford game. You know, seriously, I'm really, really nervous. Lee, this comes in from Lewis. We'll wrap up after this one. Lewis says, you say get Conte in, which is probably more towards Dan, I would imagine. But Conte left league winners because they had to sell. Ancelotti left for Real when people wanted him. Big managers look after number one. We need stability.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying there. That's a good point. And stability comes with what? Success. You know, and listen, look, we're all doubting at Mikel Arteta on here, right, at this moment in time. But I can say we all want him to succeed.
Yeah. Massively. That's the thing. Yeah.
And prove us all wrong. I'll be jumping from the bloody hilltops if I'm proved wrong and he does the business and whatever. Like that. And that'd be the best thing. Do you know why it's the best thing? Because it means that Arsenal winning games of football, and that's all that matters. And the reason that we're not happy about things at the moment is clearly just purely down to us not winning games of football. But yes, stability is what I want. But I'll tell you what I'd rather have more than stability: success.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, well, that's the name of the game, isn't it? Glory. That's what it's all about. We've seen a lot of glory over the years. But that's what I really said at the start when I said that we've seen a lot of glory. But now, when you see a lot of glory, you have to take your turn of not seeing any. And I think that's the kind of transition that we're going into. And that's, that worries me. That worries me. That will bring us to the end of this week's podcast, the first one of the new season. Yeah, it was a bit negative. Yeah, it was a bit down, and perhaps we were banging on the same drums. But it's something that we need to talk about, and we need to get out of my system because again, it's like a therapy. Like I haven't spoke to these boys about Arsenal since the West Brom game, and I've had my therapy. I'm feeling therapeutic that the new season is actually here. And I've actually enjoyed, I have to admit, this might, surprise a lot of people. I've actually enjoyed not having to talk about Arsenal for the 3 months, I've had a great summer. I've got a new job, which is going really, really well. So, yeah, things are going well. So, for me personally, things are on the up. For my football team, I'm not too sure. Thank you. Nearly 600 of you in here at one point. So, thank you very much for coming along. We'll see you again next week at the same time. We'll be back at 8 o'clock. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we might have another player to be talking about. Dan, thank you very much indeed for coming on this evening, mate. And it was great to be talking Arsenal with you again. Cheers, this one here, let's bring this one in from Tana. Get more Arsenal fixed tomorrow night at 9:45 EST, 6:45 PST, 2:45 AM. Same old Arsenal USA. They're back. They will be talking about us as well. Albert JTV, go plug it, son. New season, let's go.
No, much love. Good to see the boys again, man. Missed you guys, man. Yeah, but Craig, you're right. I agree with you, mate. Needed the break from Arsenal, honestly, mate. Refreshed. Thanks for the plug, mate. Albert JTV, people come and subscribe and hear my views about the beloved mighty Arsenal.
The beloved, yeah. I get that. Judges, my Laurel to my Hardy, my Ant to my Deck, my golf club to my ball. Go on, plug Lee Judges TV. If you ain't subscribed, what I want to know is, right, get over and subscribe. Everyone who is watching this right now should be subscribing to Lee. So when I wake up in the morning, I want to see it. I want to see that channel to at least 10,000 subscribers.
Yeah,
at least 10,000 by the morning. You all hear me?
I don't know about the morning, Craig, but we're trying hard. We've had to work really hard on it. Lee Judges TV. You'll get all this sort of content over there. You will actually get Craig on there. I'll tell you what, we'll get Albert on there at some stage.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So we'll have we've got all different people coming up. Got some fantastic guests lined up for the studio show with a night in with a judge. We have. Shall I say we've got Rory coming on, Rory Jennings coming on tomorrow.
Oh, Rory's coming.
He's in the building tomorrow. We've also got the lovely Pippa in the building tomorrow as well, and then we've also got Abby Summers, the Spurs fan, right, in the building as well. Like, you know. So so not only is the lead judges going to be the glamour, you know what I mean. We've got a bit of intellectual chat with Rory as well, and Pippa and Abby as well. I'm in my element, Craig. I have to say, in my element.
So do you know what? Right, there's one person I want to see you interview.
Go on,
Robbie.
Yeah, well, we're in negotiations with Robbie. Like, you know, we're about to go through his PR and everything like that. So, you know, so
I'd actually like to see him on the other side. I'd
yeah,
like to see him on
yeah.
the other side of the camera.
Dan's coming down tomorrow. I don't know why. Dan said this is Dan Fox test. Oh, what if I come down tomorrow? Like, you know what I mean? Well, nothing to do with Abby and Pippa being there, is it? Like, you know what I mean? Oh, no. Come down to see you, Lou, like, you know. I've missed you. You know what I mean? So,
Can I come as well, Judge? Can I come as well, mate?
Yeah. Is there is Ryan there flying tomorrow?
So listen. We're going to get Robbie. I'll tell you who else has agreed to come on the show at some stage. Ty's agreed to come on. Flex is to come on. So it's just not going to be. That's the thing that we decided to go down. It's going to be like different, different fans from different perspectives from it all. Like, you know, we're doing a show on Friday, doing different things, and like me and Dan have got our own thing, like what we're doing. Then I'm doing my own thing there. Then Dan's going to be doing his own thing as well. You know, he's actually got me in. I've got to say this. Like, he can laugh. He's going to laugh at him. He's actually got me in a Grand Prix group. Like, they're all talking about it yesterday. And I said, was there a race yesterday? Yes, there was.
Cricket. Is it as bad as cricket?
It's not for me. Listen,
How can anyone sit down in front of a telly and watch a computer go round the same track 50 times?
You need to be into it to enjoy it. It's like every sport.
Yeah,
you need to be into it. If you're not into it, like I'm not into cricket. Whenever I turn it on, everyone's standing there. But yeah, how's that? I'm not into cricket. Whenever you turn it on, everyone's standing there. I can't particularly watch golf. I can play golf. Well, I can't play it, but I can enjoy playing it. Cricket, likewise, love playing it. But if you sit there, unless it's the Ashes highlights or the highlights of 2020, I am bored. Get on with it. It's raining. Get the covers over again. We're all pansies. We can't play. Oh, come on. What's happening? Be a man and bloody watch a man's sport.
I'll tell you what, like, we're going to do that this year. We're going to, that's one of the things we're doing. We're going in the next for cricket. I'm going to get the fastest bowler, throwing it down at you. And you go, be a man, Potsy, stand up to it, son. Get down.
You know what? That's a good challenge for Lee Judge's TV. Get hold of someone. Take him down to a cricket pitch and let's see Dan. Let's see Dan hit the ball.
Be a man, Potsy. Be a man.
Do you know what, Judge? It might be raining that day, mate. We might not be able to do
it. We'll see you next week, same time, 8 o'clock. The Same Old Arsenal podcast is back for the 21-22 season. Until we see you then, be kind to everyone, be nice, and we'll see you then. Up the Arsenal.